good morning, my people. This is YouTube channel station Kera TV, your YouTube channel station that keeps you more informed and understand what is happening within the Republic of Kenya and beyond. Today, our main focus will be on social housing. We want to tell you what do you need to know about social housing, who funds the social housing, and who can put up the social housing houses. One, some of the key factors that you need to consider as social housing is one, these are fully funded type of housing done by the government. 100% is fully done by the government. It does not require public-private partnership. Two, these are type of houses that are for rental, and the type of rent is very negligible, which gives you a long-term tenancy. These are type of houses, but if you have a family, you can put down roots and have generation after generations. The rent is very negligible. Three, these type of houses are built in a public land. Remember, social housing can interchangeably be used also like public housing. Four, these are type of houses, they are meant for people who are vulnerable and people who are not in any gainful employment or who are trying to do business or hawking, whatever. These houses are not meant for people who have at least some source of income. No. These are people who are very vulnerable and are not fully in any business activity or employment. And who are the vulnerable people? One are the youths, who are the majority and are mass unemployed. These social housing are meant for them. Two, another vulnerable group is the elderly. Three, people with disability. Four, the orphans and other vulnerable group that if you see that the way they are living, their condition of life, they are meant to have this kind of social housing. Who can put up a social housing? Social housing can be put by any person, so long these houses are not meant for profit making. An example of these people who have been putting this type of social housing across the world are governments. Two, we have seen churches like the Salvation Army, they have been putting up social housing. Three, the Lutheran Church, they have also done it. Four, the Catholic Church has also done the social houses. In the social housing setup, the way the name it describes, it must have social amenities. And what are these social amenities? They must have open spaces, they must have recreational facilities, it must have a public health care centers, they must have a social hall, a public playing field, and any other existing social amenity that can be used by the public for free. Or if it's a matter of paying something, it's very negligible, not for profit making, but just for the maintenance of that area. In other jurisdictions, like if you go to UK and other countries, what they have done with this kind of social housing, and this is a good proposal that we can make also to the Nairobi City County, is that most of the government are delegated the authority of management of these social houses to the residents associations so that they manage the entire area. Another thing that I wanted to forget is also social housing can be done by the community-led initiative. Let's say like in Caroline example, we can come together as residents and put up a social housing because we are not going to do it for profit making, but just to have a modern type of living. Another thing about social housing is not determined by the size of room or the number of flats that you go high. No. Social housing, this type of houses, it can be a 1-bedroom house, 2, 3, or 4-bedroom house. It has a decent living and it dignifies also the people who are going to live in those houses. Another thing you need to know about this type of social housing is that the people who are staying there, they cannot be interfered with in terms of, let's say, if you want to do some redevelopment of these houses. What normally happens is that if in case government wants to do a certain project on housing, improve the urban renewal, they establish what is called a decanting site. and the decanting site is not done within the existing land or where you are staying. Let's say, for example, if government wants to do some urban renewal on housing in Kaloleni, it's not now this type of houses, they don't displace people by giving them money to relocate to somewhere else, because the moment you give people money to relocate, then you are creating mass displacement of human population to go and create another slum. What we are trying to propose is that they do what is called H to H, the way you have G to G partnership. So this one will have H to H, housing to housing. So you do a decanting site, and this decanting site is not in an open space or somewhere within the Kaloleni estate. You must go outside Kaloleni estate, do certain houses, decanting site, so that any person who was living here was going to be affected should move to that decanting site. So in case this project fails, you still have a house to live on in a dignified and proper way. That's what the good concept of a social housing. And I want to show you some of the video clips you see, like in Vienna and other countries, how they have done their social housing. Thank you very much. We shall meet in another episode and discuss more about even the affordable housing, tenant purchasing into details. But today was talking about the social housing. Enjoy the video and see the best descriptors of a social housing. Thank you. Let's meet in another episode. This is your YouTube channel, Kera TV. Thank you very much.
Here in Vienna, 2/3 of its citizens live in subsidised social housing. But in the UK, less than 1 in 10 live in a council house. And not only that, the quality and style is simply out of this world. So is this what you think of when you think of council housing? This is Alt Erla, a social housing estate on the outskirts of Vienna. It may look like tough brutalist architecture, but actually it's humane, caring design of the highest order. What happens in and around these pioneering buildings is nothing short of breathtaking.
Oh, wow. Look at that. They've even got an indoor swimming pool as well.
They have nurseries, schools and tennis courts all conveniently on site. I can't quite believe this.
This is about long-term thinking, allowing people to put down roots, giving them stability. I mean, just imagine if I proposed a high-density council housing estate with loads of swimming pools, indoor and outdoor, clubs, play spaces. I'd be laughed out of town because everybody would say you couldn't do that. Or worse still, they'd say that the state couldn't afford it. Well, what price are we going to put on people's lives, the built environment, and the way that we live in our country?
With 10,000 residents, Alt Erla has the highest density living in Vienna. But you'd never guess that from the peaceful atmosphere.
Monica.
Hi.
Hi, so nice to see you.
Monica pays the equivalent of £600 a month rent for her flat. Back in Harlow, temporary accommodation can give you a quarter of the size for almost the same rent.
Does the open plan work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got workspace, couple of computers. I mean, that's proper office, that. Look at that, it's really good.
For my studies.
Yeah, and then you've got decent seating area, nice little dining area.
We can have...
No matter where you are, you get the view as well.
Exactly.
Which is fabulous.
And with the Viennese having such secure tenancies, there's little temptation to buy. So Monica has no stress of being moved on, which is handy, as her dad Heinz lives in the block next door.
How long have you lived here?
40 years.
40 years?
40 years.
Amazing.
Yes.
Why is this place so special?
Because we have everything here. Everything we need.
We have 15 physicians, doctors. We have all the shops.
Groceries, drugstores.
4 schools.
4 schools.
And you have your own TV channel?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So if there's any pottery classes tonight, we send it and we inform the people, tonight is pottery class.
That's so cool. It feels to me like it's a It's an amazing hotel.
It is.
A five-star hotel. The swimming pool is always cleaned. It's always ready to use. The sauna is always ready to use.
I would live here in a second, in a heartbeat. In Britain, we have a kind of negative stigma around council housing, government housing. Do you have that here?
What is the difference if I own this flat or if I rent this flat? Tell it to me. What is the difference? Why should I buy this flat? Why?
The difference in the UK is that people don't feel stable. They feel like they could get moved on and moved on and moved on by landlords. Do you feel like you have stability here, renting?
Absolutely.
It's the political system. If they disturb this kind of stability, they wouldn't be the leader of this country anymore. That's the difference.
Just like us, Vienna started building social housing 100 years ago. But unlike the UK, it never stopped. Austria has a higher rate of tax than the UK, but its social care is one of the best in the world. The city builds 7,000 social apartments each year, more than the whole of England, which has a population 30 times the size.